History is made as Pope Francis arrived in Washington, D.C. for the start of a 6-day visit to America.
He arrived from Cuba Tuesday afternoon to a cheering crowd. He was also greeted by President Obama and the First Family. After a welcome ceremony Wednesday, the Holy Father will hold Mass in Washington, D.C.
His message begins with respecting every person, respecting life, respecting the dignity of every person, respecting the planet.
The Pope will travel to New York City and Philadelphia in the coming days.
It's official. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting a new arena. The Common Council approved a $47 million financing plan, all part of the $250 million public deal. The vote was 12-3 in favor of that project. Alderman Mark Borkowski said he could not support the plan.
You're hearing talking about all of this investment, but you know what? It's going to come at a price. And my fear is it's going to be a negative effect to the city.
Now, some details like the final design still must be worked out, but the Bucks are still hoping for the facility to be complete by 2017.
The head of Volkswagen in the United States admits the company was wrong to program its cars to cheat emissions tests. U.S. regulators revealed last week Volkswagen cheated in emissions tests on about 500,000 diesel vehicles. The automaker now concedes 11 million Volkswagen and Audi vehicles worldwide showed similar issues. Volkswagen faces up to $18 billion in penalties in just the United States.
A new resident at the Milwaukee County Zoo, a giraffe born last week at the zoo. The baby and mom are doing just fine. Now, the last giraffe born at the zoo was back in 2003. So cute.
Let's get a check on the forecast now.
Here's Chief Meteorologist John Milan.
And we are looking at some very warm temperatures for this time of the year. And this time of the year is still summer until 3:21 in the morning on Wednesday. And that's when autumn will officially begin. That is called the autumnal equinox. And again, we are now going to be officially into the autumn season. Now, we still need some rain around here, even though September finally has caught up with the 2 days of rains we had last week, Thursday night and into Friday night. So far, we're at 3.81 inches of rainfall for the month of September, which is 1.5 inches above normal. However, for the whole year, we're at 21.56 inches, which is almost 5 inches below normal. So we have still a little bit of catch up to go. However, this month, with the last week's rainfall, is on the wet side. So we're looking at beautiful temperatures everywhere. It's from 77 in Detroit to 73 in Sault Ste. Marie, 72 at the Twin Cities. Look at the 80s just to our south, so still very warm across the plains. 68 in Fargo, a little bit of cloudiness for those folks today. Now, where should we be? About 69 degrees is our average high temperature for this date, with a low of 52. We hit 79 degrees, almost 80, 52 was the morning low, so kind of average on that low, which is where we are generally this time of the year with that crisp air and the dry air. We drop into the low 50s. There's the highs around the rest of southeastern Wisconsin. Pick out your town. 78, Fond du Lac, also Burlington and Lake Geneva. Temperatures in the evening hours, if you're going out, will drop through the 70s into the upper 60s. It's going to be a very pleasant evening across southeastern Wisconsin. Dew points in the 50s in most locations, so the air continues to be very dry, and even a dew point of 61 is still considered rather dry air for this time of the year. Tonight's lows will drop close to the dew point, so we could see some patchy fog by morning. 53 Milwaukee, Port Washington 55 out in Waukesha. Not much to talk about on satellite and radar combinations. Some fair weather cumulus clouds. There is a little precipitation across Iowa. It will stay in Iowa. There's a weak wind shift line sitting across the state. Kind of lifts and remains stationary and actually kind of dissipates over the next 24 to 36 hours. And in this area where the wind is shifting, there is where the showers and a few storms will remain. Iowa, Minnesota, but it looks like we're going to stay in the dry area. So for tonight, clear to partly cloudy, mild, some patchy fog, light southerly winds, and 53 degrees. And then we could start out with a little patchy fog in the morning hours. For tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, seasonably warm southeast winds, and 75. And if you like that, you'll like the next day. Also, Thursday looks sunny to partly cloudy. And again, seasonally warm east-southeast winds and a high of 74 degrees. And it's going to be a broken record right on into the upcoming weekend. Friday, sunshine, 73 degrees. It continues into Saturday with sunshine and 72, back up to 73 with sunshine on Sunday, and we stay in the 70s early next week.